Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for a Hello Spring. We're doing a Flowerpalooza collaboration. This one is hosted by Indiana Jones, and there is a whole playlist of other fantastic YouTube creators that you'll want to check out their videos as well. Everything is related to flowers and spring, and it is going to be so much fun. I'm so happy that you stopped here with me. I am going to be working on a tulip scrapbooking layout and card, something a little different than what I typically do for the playlists, but for my regular viewers, it's going to be a little bit familiar. I'm going to be working off of a sketch from our 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches book. I've been taking on the challenge this year to get through all 101 of these inspiration sketches, and the one I picked today has Christmas trees on it. So I want to show you how I go from a Christmas layout to a spring tulip layout, and I think, it's fun, it's creative, and hopefully it gives you some ideas for your next scrapbooking layout. So come along and see what I have for you today. All right, so here it is. Here is the layout that inspired me to make tulips, this fun Christmas tree layout. I just love our sketches. They give me so much inspiration for different layouts. And I traditionally do make them into 2-page layouts. I'm keeping this one at a single page. Almost forgot to adjust my light. So I put some tape runner on my piece of paper already. This is the sheet from our Painted Garden collection that has the sunshines on the back and the stripes on the front. I'm working on parakeet shimmer cardstock, and I'll show you that closer in a minute. I have set my zero centering ruler an inch down on my page, and I am going to line up this 7-inch by 10-inch mat between the 5s. So that way I know I'm getting it straight on my page and an inch down from the top of my cardstock base there to get it nice and centered. So parakeet shimmer has just a really nice shimmer to it. Almost like using glitter, maybe. It just has a really nice tone to it. I do have some of our tonal papers that I've used to pre-cut some of our diamonds. I have cut 3 from the pink, 3 from the green, and 3 from the orange tone, and you'll see what I'm doing here in just a moment. I used our diamond from our custom cutting system gemstone collection. I took my blue blade. So our custom cutting system, we have a blue blade, a green blade, and a red blade. The red blade cuts the closest to the template, the green in the middle, and the blue the furthest, because I wanted to make smaller diamonds to create my tulips. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, I have the first one kind of pre-folded already because I wanted to save, again, a little bit of time. I'm using this one with the darker tone as my base. I have my 2 other diamonds here. I'm going to fold them not quite in half so you can see a little bit better on the grid side of the page. I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch in from the opposite side. I want this tonal side showing, which is the same as the base because tulips tend to be monochromatic, and you can see where we're going with this. We're going to angle them about 1/2 inch apart on our stems that I've cut 1/4 inch stems from this green paper that has the little bushy look on it with the hummingbirds on the back side. Remember I did use the hummingbird paper not too long ago. And there we go. So here when I'm folding, you can see here it's just right at 1/4 of an inch on our diamonds getting folded. And then we're going to go ahead and set them with the larger end of the fold up, the shorter end inside, because if we did it this other way, you'd see the opposite part of the paper because all of our papers are double-sided. So let's go ahead and start sticking some of these together here. And grabbing my tape runner, we're going to get these put together quickly. And now I'm going to go ahead and place these on. I'm just going to put a little bit behind, about halfway down on the tape runner. So about that much. Can you see if I can get it to focus? It's about here to here. I'm going to stick it going out about 1/4 of an inch. I'm lining up the bottom part of the diamond and just angling it out from the center. And then this other one is going to layer on top, going out as well. And here are our 3 tulips that are going to be on our page. Let me get our bottom border onto our page. This is our striped paper again. The strip is 3/4 of an inch by 12 inches. And we're going to run this across the bottom of our page. And then I'm going to add an extra little bit of striped paper. I cut at 1 inch by 2 inches. I have 3 of these. And if you screenshot that first sketch, I will do it again. So that way you all can get a feel for what I have here. We're going to line these up. Using my 0 centering ruler again. Just want to get some good spacing going here. For placement of our 1 inch by 2 inch pieces, I'm going to tuck them under this piece here. And I'm using my ruler to help me with a quick placement here. Going under about 1/4 of an inch and just putting it on there straight. This other one is going to go between the 3 and 5 inches over here, so an inch off of our edge of our paper. Make sure you tuck it in. Use your multi-purpose tool if you need to move some of the tape that was on the lower piece of paper. And one more here on this end. Going again an inch in. And there we go. Sometimes it goes quicker than other times. Now let's get our stems. Our stems are 3 inches by 1/4 of an inch. These are going to go behind our flower pots that we just placed. I'm going to use my repositionable tape for this one since they're thinner and it's a lot easier to use the repositionable tape on them. Just going up from the center of our flower pots here. And I am going in the direction of the pattern on the paper with the little grass pieces, I guess, flowing upwards. And not to worry if they're not even or looking like they're going to cover up our upper layout. We are going to cover part of this with our tulips themselves. So here's the back side of our tulips. Get up some tape runner on that. I'm trying to cover some of these seams as well as I'm going here. All right. So we kind of do want them a little bit lower because we do want to get photos onto our pages as well. It can't all be tulips. We will have some photos on here coming up. To fold one of those under a little bit, I got just a little too much tape on it. And there are our 3 tulips on our page. At the bottom here, we're going to put our border sticker from our Painted Garden collection with our stickers. Here, going through our bottom, just running along the top, kind of going over the seam for our pots and our end of our paper here. I have the first signs of spring and I must have flowers. We're going to place in between here. And you can put these on foam squares if you want. I am just going ahead and placing them on the page. Going across the top, we also have another border sticker. And this one was inspired by the sketch as well, because they do have quite a few borders going across this page. And there we go. And then we have fresh blooms and spring up here also from our sticker pack. And I love that that fresh blooms brings back in our pink a little bit, but we also have another embellishment from our embellishment pack. And you all know if you've watched any of my videos, sometimes I struggle with using these. And I think this one just seems to fit really well. It almost looks like a sunshine coming down on our flowers. And I actually think I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up using a little bit of our foam tape. Appreciating the foam tape a little bit more for its flexibility. You don't have to take off quite as many backings as you do when you're using a lot of the foam squares, and it gives you just a really nice pop on your pages. There we go. And that is it. That is my happy spring. Here's your tulips, here's your flowers page. Let me show you my inspiration again. You can see where they do have the border running across the top and the bottom, as well as having those Christmas trees running through. But they opted to do smaller mats behind their photos, and I opted to do one larger one. I can easily place just, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a larger photo. And if you have something that even the tulips can go a little bit in front of, sometimes when you have a photo with a lot of green or sky in it, you can cover some of that up with some of your embellishments and things. So we can definitely fit a 4x6 up here, or we can even do a larger photo in this section up here. But this is more of a title type page or a ending page for your album. It's a little bit dressier, and also with it being on the shimmer paper. But let's also go ahead and get our card put together as well. One of the other things I've been doing with my scrapbooking challenge has been to make a card with each sketch. And so for this one, we're no different. I am going to be using the Parakeet Shimmer again for my base. I have cut this piece to 4 1/4 by 10 inches long. I have scored it at 5 1/2 and at 1 1/4. And we're going to do a little bit of a different fold to this card. We're folding it in half, but then we're also bringing this other part down. And just bear with me. You'll see what I'm doing here in just a moment. I am going to be using my Precision Point adhesive, which is our glue pen. And it's one of the things that seems like a lot of the challenge videos, I think just because I am usually trying to do something a little bit different, I pull it out a lot for these. But you are going to run a little bit of a seam here along both ends of your card, because I don't want my tape runner for this part, because I really don't want it coming open and I don't want things sticking to it later. So give me just a moment to let this dry and I'll be back with you. So about 30 seconds have elapsed and my base of my card is able to stay put on its own. I do want to say one of my pet peeves is people who design cards, but then they don't fit in an envelope. This card, you don't have anything to worry about. It will fit into a standard A2 envelope. Your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 envelope from your blank card kits, no problem at all. I've gone ahead and I've pre-cut my diamonds for the tulip part. These are with the blue blade again. I did 3 of the pinky orange tonal paper from our Painted Garden collection. I used my green blade to cut a piece off of our index sheet, because that's where we're going to be writing our sentiment of our card. And I used the red blade to cut a piece of the stripe paper. That's what we're going to be attaching our sentiment and our tulip to here for our fun tulip card. So that's just going to layer on inside of our sunshine side of the paper, because on this other side is where our tulip's going to go. I've gone ahead and placed some tape runner already onto my petals. That way I can just go ahead and stick these down, giving it that same angle I gave it for the layout that you saw. And now we're going to go ahead and stick it down to our stripe side here. When you go to place your tulip on your base, put it a little bit closer to the bottom, just centering it through the bottom center of the striped paper. If you really want, you can go back through and cut some of this away. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do, is just on that bottom. Well, no, I can't, because then we've got the back side as well. Okay, so that's all right. And we're going to add a little bit of a stem to our flower here. I'm going to grab a 6-inch piece of one of our border stickers here, just using my mat real quick, and I'm going to cut it at 6 inches, and then I'm going to fold it at 3 inches here, just about in the middle. And what we're going to use is, this is going to be our stem, but it's also going to be our pole for our flower. It looks like I'm just a little bit off, so let me cut off this extra top part here, following the line of the end of the sticker. I'm adding a point, just freehand really quick with my scissors, and I'm going to go ahead and work this behind our flower part and our index sheet here. So just going into this middle part here. And we're going to go ahead and tuck this into our card this direction, which I guess our stem is maybe a little bit long. But, you know, we can easily remedy that, or we can fold it as well. But I just thought it would be nice to have something to pull it out with. And then when you write your sentiment for Mother's Day or whatever, somebody can just take and, you know, hang this up somewhere. So there's that going in there. We're just going to tuck it in for now. We're going to grab a little bit more of our border sticker here, and we're going to run this through the center of here, just placing it on. And I'm going to go ahead and cut again and free cut this with my scissors. My microchip scissors have a special coating on them, so I'm not worried about them getting sticky at all from cutting the stickers. Here we go, following the line of the sticker, but adding a point at the end. So I'm grabbing out my foam squares. We have this little So in Love with Spring, and I thought since our collab was Hello Spring, I'm going to add a couple of our small foam squares to the back side of our So in Love with Spring sticker here. And if you want to do this as a Valentine's card, there's a Meant to Be sticker, and you can add a couple of bumblebees. But I just thought, you know, let's go with our color palette. There are some pinks in with the oranges. We can say we're so in love with spring. We're going to add a couple of butterflies coming in from the back side here of our card, making it just beautiful. We're also going to nest a couple of our other flowers here behind our So in Love with Spring sticker. And then you just pull out your tulip, flip it over, sentiment, tuck it back in, and you're ready for spring. Here's a close-up of my finished card. And like I said, when you go into your envelope, you can easily fold this over. Actually, I'm going to cut it off, I think, a little bit. I think it's just a little bit too long. So we can just cut it because it's stuck. It's a sticker. It's stuck together. I took off about 3/4 of an inch from what I originally had. So instead of 6 inches, you would be at 4.5 inches. Because if I took off 3/4, it's 3/4 on both sides. I like that better personally. Of course, you do what you would like to do for yours. And if you want to put it in this way as well, you can. Covers up the butterflies just a little bit, although I guess you could move those out also. Actually, I think I'm going to move this one out just a little bit. I like it up this other way. So here we go. Put as close to the corner of the card as you can get. And there you go. You've got your butterflies coming in towards your tulip. This needs to go down just a hair. It's got a lot of wing on this one. Is a little bit larger. There we go. Okay. So there you go. How's about that for a floral card to fit our Flowerpalooza? You can go either way, whichever way you think you want to put yours in. Just love that the sentiment's going to be on the back side of the card. So here we go. And of course, your tulip can go either way depending on what you like. I like it. I like it showing up, I guess. I thought I was going to do it down, but I think I like it better popping up out of our card. And so I hope you enjoyed seeing my fun tulip card, ending the Flowerpalooza with some fabulous florals and a couple of butterflies as well. If you've enjoyed seeing these projects, please subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. If you have a project that you would like to discuss with me, feel free to send me an email, creativepageswithcatherine@gmail.com. I am a Creative Memories Independent Advisor, and I would love to chat with you. Until next time.